Today we're going to be talking about from junk to gear. Junk to gear, whatever you want to put in there. I took a pile of junk and I turned it into some useful gear. And it brought you along for most of the ride. Not all of it because I got a lot to do. We're right in the middle of bear season. I wouldn't say right in the middle. We just started, but we've been baiting and all of that. So, and deer hunting season's knocking on the door. And so's trapping season. So there's a whole lot going on in this trapping shed right now, preparing for what's ahead. Alright, good morning. My name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Welcome to my channel today. Back in the shop today. Most people would look at this. I picked this up yesterday, side the road for free. They would drive by that and look at that as just another piece of junk. Well, what I see in it is I'm getting ready to build a meat pole for Beaver Creek Deer Camp. So I see lots of angle iron there for building my meat pole that I can hang up in the tree, roughly 15, 16 feet off the ground. And the other really big find here is that axle with the rims. Tires are no good, but that particular axle has wheel bearings. My other trailer is just grease. You have to grease it. There's just a shaft and a wheel. You grease it every couple of trips. But this one being wheel bearings, that is really quite an axle for a utility trailer for behind a six-wheeler or a four-wheeler. So I see lots of good parts here. I'll be cutting it up into small pieces today and building my meat pole, getting that ready to take into Beaver Creek. I am building a meat pole. Out of all the scrap iron parts from that old utility trailer for a six-wheeler. Don't know. I think I'll cut it off. They had bent. Doubt very much that I can straighten that out, but I can cut it off and use it for braces. You know, if any of you are thinking about welding, I only picked this up a year ago. And this little welder really does a good job. Now, I don't claim to be a professional welder by any stretch of the imagination, but for all these projects for over to Beaver Creek, this little welder is coming in very handy. There's only two things you have to remember. This is thicker steel, this is 1/4 inch, give or take, I don't know, that's what I'm calling it anyways. Is you need to turn up the heat all the way to as much as it'll go. It's 0 to 10. And then when you're doing thinner metal, you need to turn it down, you know, like in the area of 2. Or depending on what you're welding, you know, if you're burning through, then you're too hot. And on this one, I also turned up the wire speed to 10. That way, I've got plenty of wire going to my project. Just a couple of things to think about, that's all. Like I said, I'm not a welder by any stretch of the imagination. There's the before and after picture. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I picked up a scrap utility trailer for behind a four-wheeler. It was all junked out. You'll see that in this video. I cut it up, saved all the good parts out of it, and this is the top half for my meat pole over at Beaver Creek Deer Camp. So I love turning junk into brand new equipment. I salvaged the boat winch, as you guys saw in a video gone by. And this is the top half. The boat winch is already mounted on the tree. I will hoist this up into the tree with the boat winch. I'll climb up there with a chain. And then I'll bring my rope up and we'll crank her up. I love to recycle old scrap. And this right here is something that will last at Beaver Creek for years and years and years to come.